Let's get a con chair. Yo, yo, thanks for coming to my show. We got something a little different tonight. It's a Gangsta Gods record I've been working on.
Oh, no.
Get a chair. Hi, thank you for coming to a question and answer with Voltaire, or whatever this panel is called. Sorry I'm a little late. I was problem with the ball sack. I mean the sack ballroom. You hear that joke at every con, don't you? Yeah. So this is a question and answer. So I guess you're going to ask a question, and I'm going to do my best to give you an answer. I generally find that it's better if the questions are about something I've done, because I don't know the answer to things like how to become the master of all time, space, and dimension.
Damn it.
I will try anyway. So let's just get it started. Who has a question? That gentleman in the back. Hi. Well, I did many songs on Adventure Quest. Come again? You want me to do what? Sing one, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. I'll be singing it at midnight, right in this very room.
Midnight.
For those of you who don't know, I mean, I can't really imagine that you all decided to come down here to hear me talk, not having any idea that I was playing at midnight, or not having any idea what it is that I do. Although, I guess you could have stumbled in here. For those of you who don't know, I am a singer and songwriter. I write mostly funny songs about spooky things. The titles kind of say it all. Zombie prostitute, cannibal buffet. Cantina doesn't really say anything until you start listening to it, and then it's too late. Yes, it's probably the only Star Wars songs that features like anal rape with a lightsaber. Which is, did I mention, is this an all ages show? It is. Okay, let's reel myself in, reel it in. The show is at midnight. I'm assuming if you're coming at midnight, you do not care if I sing about zombie prostitutes or anal rape with a lightsaber, but we'll keep it clean for the 5:30 panel. Yes, to expand upon your question, there is a role-playing game online. It is called Adventure Quest Worlds. The company that makes that game made a game called Adventure Quest first, then they made another game called Dragon Fable, then they made a game called Mech Quest, then they did their first multi-user massive game, and that was called Adventure Quest Worlds. And I met Ardix, the president of the company, at Dragon Con one year, and he said, hey, I really love your music, I'd love to work with you on something sometime. And I checked out their games, and their games were amazing. And one thing led to another, and a few years ago, they basically just called me and said, we want to make a mini game based on your character, Deddy. Now, for those of you who do not know what Deddy is a comic book character of mine. He's an evil teddy bear. And so they made this mini game where Deddy is on his planet Necronus, the cemetery planet, and you play as Deddy, and you get to fight the undead. And yeah. So it's a really, really great game. They did a beautiful job, and it's for free on the internet. And not only is it for free on the internet, but they made it so that you could download it and put it on your own website. So they really were they were about just getting it out there and letting everyone play it. And then about a year ago, they said, hey, we want to do more with you. And they invited me to do a live, how do I put this? I was performing live in the role-playing game. They had made an animated avatar of me, and I'm performing live in the role-playing game while leading a 4-hour quest through monster-infested waters to Skull Punch Island to get a cursed guitar. So they had only done one live event before. They had 11,000 players show up. They said, we are going to soup up our servers. So they got enough servers to be able to hold, maybe to manage like 25,000 players. At 30,000 players, the game crashed. And the best part about that was that it then, like, we were playing one of my songs at that moment, and the song played for 45 minutes on repeat. I'm fairly certain I never want to hear Tempest ever again. But the players were extremely patient, and they managed to just get a bunch of stuff rigged, and we were able to continue the game. So the game actually happened, except instead of 4 hours, it took 5 hours. And during the game, I sang 4 songs from my most recent CD, To the Bottom of the Sea. And we did indeed kill many monsters, and we did indeed find the cursed guitar, Skull Punch Island. Unfortunately, we found out what the curse was, which was bad. It wasn't the computers crashing. That happened by itself. And, but, you know, we all played to the end. And then, of course, at the end, because you joined us on this live event, everybody got special virtual prizes. So my top hat was one of the things that you could add to your character's armor. So, of course, the next day in the town of Babylon, which is where you first appear when you play the game, everybody was going, "Where'd you get that top hat? That's not in the inventory." And so the game, you know, became so popular that they made it a permanent installment. So now you can go and play that adventure anytime. That happened in March. Did I mention, by the way, that my answers are usually half an hour long each, so I'll have time for one more after this? That happened on Friday the 13th, March 2009. So on Friday the 13th in November of 2009, we did another one, and that one was mostly about Deddy. Deddy shows up and says, "All right, look, remember when we went to Skull Punch Island? Well, that top hat Voltaire's wearing is not really his top hat. His top hat was actually stolen by cannibals, and they've been worshiping it as a god." I didn't want Voltaire to get pissed off, so I made him this hat out of bats and bubblegum. But it looks just like his hat. And they said that the hat has developed these special powers, and we want you to go back to Skull Punch Island to get the hat. And the only way that you're going to be able to get past them is if you look like me. So they added my character Deddy as an armor. So 40,000 players put on Deddy costumes and went to Skull Punch Island. It was so obnoxious. It was beautiful. So we're bound to do it again. And over the course of these different adventures that we've done, I've now sung, I'm going to say maybe 6 different songs. Now, they're generally songs of mine that already exist, but when I do them on Adventure Quest, I change the lyrics to be about characters and Adventure Quest and stuff like that. So like Day of the Dead, instead of, I was just a tourist the first time I went to Mexico, it went, I was just a noob the first time I went to Babylon, etc., etc., etc. So I hope to actually, I think by the time we do a 3rd adventure, I'd like to put out a record of the Adventure Quest versions of the songs. Thank you. It would epically mount such a task. Not come out right. Yes, the young lady. You lost the game! Do you remember where you put it last?